all summer, honeymoon lovers, seeing all colors. Love me all summer, making discovers under your covers.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Windmill 2022. The beer race has been run, the mix has been mingled, and we are bringing you some women's division action with the Belgian women's team taking on DTS of Lithuania. It is Benji Rees alongside Luke Burgess.
Hello, hello.
And we're starting with the Belgians on offense here, wearing black, going from left to right. And this one is lashed down this sideline, looking for a receiver deep, and they can't bring it in.
Close though. Good attempt from Belgium on the first offensive possession of the game.
This is the last round of Swiss draw for these teams, and there are potentially some, how can I put this? I don't want to say serious because that makes it sound like someone's in trouble.
Makes it sound like this is a serious tournament, Benji.
There are important ramifications based on the outcome of this game.
Very diplomatic.
I thought so. Yeah. So DTS now trying to get a break on the game's first point. Floating this one up. It's going to be, I thought, a little bit of a challenge, but Arafieva makes the catch no problem, and now she's pinged it deep, looking for a receiver at the far side of the end zone. Beautiful shot across the pitch. It's going to give DTS a break on the game's first point for a 1-0 lead.
Very nice offense from DTS on the turnover. Belgium just overthrowing their offense a little bit, and DTS don't need a second chance. They put it in on the first time of asking.
So I mentioned potentially, I mentioned there could be some important consequences as a result of the outcome of this game. So I mentioned this is the last round of Swiss draw. After this, the top 8 go into brackets, while teams 9 to 14 in the women's division, only 14 teams, continue playing some more Swiss draw. Currently, the Belgian women's national team are in 7th. They've got a Swiss draw coefficient of about 0.9. DTS are currently in 9th. Their coefficient sits at minus 1.5. Panthers Wrocław are the team currently in 8th, with minus 0.9. So according to the algorithm, Belgium should win this by about 2-3 points. Anything better than that for DTS will help their ranking and could help them seal a spot in the top 8, potentially, depending on how this goes, at the expense of their opponents in this game.
Yeah, important game for both teams.
Back on offense now are the Belgians. Throw is a little bit behind, stuck out of hand, but couldn't get it to stick in the paw. Petrovita will pick up. Lithuanians looking downfield. Has to take the swing instead. Zinging a flick forward. Basses into the centre. Kundalaita, former Eurostar. It's being a little bit surrounded here, and on a high stall, just about gets the disc off. Trying to find that little inside window, but the throw didn't have the accuracy needed, and the Belgian women's team will get the disc back, and they're not hanging about. Nice undercut there on the far sideline. Dayan swings, swinged again to Valet. Valet absolutely rips it deep. And it is right on target. I think that's Maria Castillo, who was tearing it up for Jeuken at French Nationals last weekend. And dishing it off to Dayan for the goal. Not quite yet. On the goal line. That one is going to work, though. And Belgium leveled up at 1 apiece.
Yeah, it took them a few tries. Catching the disc on the end zone line. But they do punch it in, and that will bring some much-needed confidence to this Belgium side.
based on what we've seen from the two sides, could be a spicy looking game.
Could be a spicy looking game. I was a little bit worried for DTS on that last offensive possession, though. They, as you said, were surrounding the disc quite a lot, and the turnover ultimately came from a tight throw into a space that really should be bigger if the offense is being more disciplined.
Yeah, it's not a massive roster for DTS. I'm pretty sure that the Belgium have them beat for numbers. And on a relative on a hot day, it's still warming up a little bit. How much energy you have left in those legs could be important.
Well, it's first game of the day for both teams. So.
Also depends how hard you hit the party last night.
True.
So faced with a zone, DTS at the moment looking very unflustered. Maietta going backwards. This one's floated over the top, brilliantly reeled in by Arafjeva. Again, rolling that backhand across the end zone. Caught, but not quite in. Maietta does find a target at the back of the end zone. Nice clean hold there for DTS to take a 2-1 lead.
Nicely done. DTS. The zone not really causing too many problems. They did almost get stuck on this near sideline, but they managed to find that swing and then continue down the far side. As we get a replay of that big one-handed grab. Key moment in the point for DTS.
And then just a little inside flick and outstretched with the right arm by Guzmán for the goal. So here's how the women's division stands at the moment. Far and away the runaway leader. Prima Donna Girls, 10.5, their Swiss draw ranking. 3SB are second with about 5.6. Enroladas in third, 4.4. Seagulls in fourth with about 3.4. Fifth, Flying Angels, Bern, a little bit further back on 2. And then I think everyone from 6 down could be keeping a look over their shoulder. Scram with about 1. Belgium, as we mentioned, with a 0.9. Panthers Wrocław minus 0.9. DTS minus 1.5. Spice minus 1.8 are in 10th. And then Flame a little bit further back, minus 2.1. Graviteer into Earth, minus 3.5. You feel that they're probably a bit too far back at this point.
Probably, but I think the fight for that 8th spot is going to be intense this round.
And that's why we got this game, as that is a little bit too far out in front. Valiant attempt on the layout, got to give full credit there, but Valet couldn't bring it in. What can DTS do? Petrovita wants to put it deep, trying to put a little bit of air under it, and brilliantly weighted throw. Bassus flips it into the end zone to make it 3-1. DTS with a red-hot start in this game. They have got those eyes set on the quarterfinals.
Oh, they do indeed. Really nice work from DTS in that possession. There was a poach on that far side of the stack from Belgium, and DTS immediately punish it by floating the disc out into space. As we see another look of that close layout attempt. And here's the disc. Floated out nicely into space on that break side, punishing the poach.
It's just got a lovely weight on it. Just a little bit of touch on there. It's not zipped, it's not hung, it's just thrown to space, and then the quick flip to Kundalaita. You can see he's got that kinesio tape on her knees. That seems to be a regular fixture now at Ultimate tournaments.
It's almost fashionable, you might say.
Yeah, almost.
Almost. You have to get the right colours, though.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of if it clashes with the kit.
No.
Pull comes up from DTS. I think this might just drift out of this sideline. Indeed, it will.
What if the tape matches the boots, though? Like neon pink boots, neon pink tape?
I would say get proper coloured boots, to be honest. I've got a theory about this, which I'll give to you later. So looking to break the mark. That is low, but scooped by Castillo. Castillo rips it. She's not just a receiver, she can huck it as well, and a huck of beauty for the score. If you're not on the Maria Castillo hype train, get on board.
I'm well and truly on board.
Okay, I thought you might be, yeah.
That was impressive. Yeah, Belgium are here to play. They looked a little bit down after some of those earlier DTS scores. They no longer look down, Benji.
No, DTS still definitely in the better position in this game with a couple of early breaks, but Belgium are not going to they're not going to go down without a fight. I hope metaphorically, not literally, of course, everything. Anyway, here was my theory about boots, is that everyone should have ideally plain black or maybe like plain white boots, with the exception of the tournament's top scorer who's allowed golden boots. That make sense?
It does. Unfortunately, it does. But so, do you have to wear? Or does it have to be white or black?
I think.
Should it not be? Everyone needs boots matching
their uniform.
Their uniform.
It's the other option, yeah.
Which is white and black in this game. But.
So here are Belgium, who, to be fair to them, got a fair number of black boots, pulling deep to DTS. Swing goes to Petrovita. Just puts that one too far out in front. A rare mistake. Looking for Schlamaita. Can the Belgians capitalise? Brilliant snag. Harris was out in front of her, but she made it stick. Takes the reset, swinging around the backfield now, the Belgians. Trying to float that one out to space, and just enough pressure on it from Donata Bassis for DTS. Will give them the disc back. Nice little red zone stand there.
Belgium looks so good until that final throw. Very tight defense from DTS.
Checked in and swung. More zone coming from the Belgians. But there's a lot of width to exploit here, and the Belgians are looking to take advantage of that.
Well, it's zone up front and match downfield, sagging off the handlers, trying to make them go sideways.
Well, if that's what they're trying to do, so far it's working.
Yeah.
Finally they get an option through downfield, past the front line of that zone. But then that's struggling to find any continuation. Here's the deep put. This is going to have a little bit of air underneath it. Harris is right there. So that slightly unorthodox defense paying dividends for Belgium. Ooh. Brilliant little toe tap here on the sideline. Hombergen pulls it downfield to Harris.
Ooh.
And there's a little turn.
Yeah, just got a hand in there. Just enough to get the block.
Hombergen, who had that toe tap on the sideline, apparently nicknamed Chipmunk. I wonder why. Down the other side. Gedvelaita wants to ping it deep again, but it's too far for Arafieva. A little bit of hastiness perhaps there from DTS, because they've been troubled by that zone. So rather than play it slowly, see if they can put it deep and just get beyond it, but it didn't work.
No, but there was space for that throw. It wasn't a bad option. Just needed to be a bit flatter, perhaps. Very switchy defense from DTS at this point, but has allowed some Belgian players to get free.
And here's the deep look towards the back of the end zone. That is absolute money, and Belgium break to bring us back at 3-all.
Nicely done. Yeah, as I said at the start of that possession, DTS were standing a bit off of the stack compared to what you'd normally see in a tight one-to-one defense. Looking for switches on the unders and the deeps, but some of the communication wasn't quite as clear and clean as it needed to be, and Belgium found a few open passes.
Elsewhere in the women's division, looking at some of those teams on the outside looking in at the moment, Panthers Wrocław currently sitting in 9th, and Spice currently sitting in, no, hang on, Panthers currently sitting in 8th, and Spice currently sitting in 10th,
Yep.
tied at 1 apiece, last we heard.
Close game.
Spice have to win that by a couple, really, if they want to try and overhaul that deficit in the Swiss draw rankings. So the pull from Belgium here to DTS. Swung into the centre. Maietta swings once more. Maietta. You can tell that Belgium like this idea of just dropping off the handlers a little bit slightly to clog space downfield. That's an ambitious shot towards the sideline. Never really looked like reeling it in.
No, there was no separation at any point, and the throw was too far.
So a break here for the Belgians would bring us back on serve and give the Belgians their first lead of the game. Harris trying to run the show on this D-line. Looks for the up line, floats it out into space, well reeled in. Not quite in the end zone just yet though. Turns, resets back to Harris. Looking at the end zone, trying to sit this one out there. And Belgium have got those breaks back, and now they lead 4-2. 4-3 even. I can count.
Well, I have to say that's a surprising outcome given how good DTS looked at the start of this game. But Belgium are looking good right now. DTS, the last few possessions they've had against this sagging handler defense and match defense downfield has not looked great for DTS. They've had a bit of movement, but finding those shots into the middle hasn't really happened for them.
So it's a game that's had its ebbs and flows early on. 17 minutes on the clock. Belgium putting in 3 on the bounce to go from 3-1 down to a 4-3 lead. And the pull goes up from the Belgians with DTS looking to bring things level again.
Same defense. Actually more zoney downfield this time.
Just throw some changes in there so they can't get it precisely figured out. But again, this sagging off the handlers, really gumming up the middle of the field, is proving a good strategy. Trying to cut out the middleman there and swing all the way across field, and a short field turn as it bounces off Bassus's hands. Belgium pick up quickly, nice outstretched snag there. Trying to squeeze it down the sideline. And now pinging a blade all the way to the back of the end zone, and it's brilliantly tipped, but didn't catch the D! And was she in bounds? No, out the back, just about got away with it.
Catch your Ds, but also catch your second attempts in bounds, I guess. That is extremely unfortunate for Belgium. They did so well on defense. They do get another go, but...
Yeah, and then just credit Bassus for getting a big hand on the disc, but left the door a little bit ajar by not getting it in her possession.
So the zone's been doing work, and it still is. DTS have not figured it out.
Trying to get it over the top of that front line. With some long Belgian levers in the way. Checks it on the ground. And then swings wide for the score. All of a sudden, Belgium have found some extra gears.
Oh yeah, this is
5-3.
not looking good for DTS.
Even a close loss is good for them because of the Swiss draw coefficient at the moment. But
they do need to keep it close.
Yeah, and obviously, yes, that wouldn't hurt your coefficient, but it wouldn't necessarily improve it as much as you want. Because there's not, well, hopefully for these from these sides' perspective, they're not going to be playing any Swiss draw after this round, because this is the last round before we filter into brackets. Four on a row now for the Belgians. 3-1 down to 5-3 up. Can they keep this break train rolling?
The old "don't lose a game without playing zone" mantra is proving its worth for this Belgium side. DTS just don't have an answer right now.
Again, Belgium matching downfield. They're sagging off slightly on those handler marks, but it is 1-to-1. In a short space, squirreling free at the front is Guzmán. The Latvian goes round. Down the far sideline. Back into the middle. Maietta Bogdanov. Oh, that was congested. Back in the hands of Maietta Bogdanova. And there is going to be a stoppage for a call.
DTS actually looked better against this stricter match defense.
I was thinking that, you know. I like that Belgium aren't just resting on the laurels. They want to switch it up occasionally, just so that DTS can't get too comfortable with it. Brilliant snag there by Guzmán. Now here's Kundalaita, trying to sit this one out in space for Guzmán. Really trying to use the width of the pitch here. Back in the hands of Guzmán. Guzmán faking to Kundalaita. Kundalaita wants to go one way, then the other. Leading pass into the end zone. This might be overthrown. And a good read there by the Belgian defender to come off and get in the way and get that block.
That's unfortunate for DTS. They looked so good that whole possession.
DTS are the European indoor champions.
Yes.
And that possession looked quite indoorsy to me. Getting one player isolated in space and having them shuttle horizontally looked a lot like teams running end zone plays indoors, where you just put one player in the end zone and just give them the space to work with, and then you reset. Yeah. But once they caught it, they would just reset and do it again. Now this one just thunks off the chest. Trying to roll this one into the end zone for Guzmán. It's going to work. DTS back on the board for 5-4.
Yep, important score for DTS. It's interesting that Belgium came down match and DTS looked so much more comfortable against it. But then after the turnover, they played their own sort of switchy match again on that Belgian vert stack, but this time the switches were much cleaner. Belgium not able to punish as effectively as last time. Forced to work it around the back a little bit. Unfortunate drop, and then DTS punch it in. We have a game in our hands, Benji.
We do indeed. Another, how can I put this? A muggy morning here in Amsterdam. There's decent humidity, and it is getting hot out here.
To do with that breeze coming back.
Oh, God, yes. Yeah, hear planes flying overhead, very close to Schiphol Airport. I won't mention which airline it is because A, I can't see, and B, obviously they don't sponsor us. Can't be giving anyone that free exposure.
No.
I know how valuable our brand is.
We're not into being sponsored by airlines anyway.
No, keeping it eco-friendly.
Yeah.
So how did you get here?
Carbon neutral teleportation.
Let's find it. Belgium back on offense. First time we've seen them come out on O for a while here because of that big old break train. Running some Dominator. Ooh. And I don't know how much Pusianita knew about that. Or alternatively, I know how much he knew about that, and it was very little.
You're on offense. Got to expect the disc.
But it was really muddled spacing. The pattern was all wrong, working out of that Dominator-style offense. And DTS get the disc back.
Belgium have gone back to their zone.
Seems to be working a lot better for them than the single coverage did, so I get it. Makes sense. Oh, hello. Talk about some indoors. Blading that one over the top. A lot of verticality on it. Now resetting. Out into space. Out of Fieva.
Oh, there we go.
Finds an option in the end zone for the goal. That was much better from DTS. God, this game's got ebbs and flows as DTS break to bring us back on serve at 5s.
I mean, that's the best DTS have looked against that zone. Finding that blade over the top.
Just need to play some more indoors.
Yeah, it's not that windy.
Yeah, no, I'm being serious. There is a little bit of a breeze, but not really. You know, players of this quality, you'd expect them to back themselves to be able to make those over the top throws.
There's a bit of a breeze, but there's also more space than there would be indoors. So
elsewhere around the tournament, Prima Donna Girls and Seagulls tied at 4s. Spice gone up 5-4 on Panthers Wrocław. Foy and Is No Good tied at 3s. Mooncatchers 5-3 up on Guayota. Clapham 6-4 up on Chevron. That's on our other showcase field over there with Christina Obermeyer and Rachel Douglas on the call. Smashed up 4-3 on Chak. Flying Angels up 4-3 on Mamoots. KFK 6-4 up on Jet Set. Big Easy 4-3 up on the open team of Panthers Wrocław. Amsterdam and Ranelagh are tied at 4s. And Amsterdam's women are up 4-3 on Flame. This one's put deep down the sideline. Well, Castillo's got pace, but unfortunately, she's not Wonder Woman. Can Wonder Woman do like flying? And I'm not very good with superheroes.
No.
Regardless,
flying would be cheating in Ultimate.
Would it though?
Yes, it would.
Okay, fine. If flying's cheating, so is being tall.
No, but being tall, you're still affected by gravity. I mean, you're still affected by gravity when you're flying. It's just less of a thing, you know. You can fly out of the pitch, grab the disc, fly back in, land in the end zone, no problem.
Yeah, easy.
It's not a travel because you never established pivot foot because you were airborne. So
you know what? Fine. Yeah, I'll give it up.
Cheating.
DTS. Oh, that's a little bit below and behind. Kundalaita put a hand on it, but couldn't bring it in. Belgium back on offense now. Underneath. Looking for potential offload. Having to swing into the backfield. Looking for the deep option. Trying to curl it into that front cone. Not quite in the end zone, but found the space nicely. Done back to Castillo. Gets it out of her hands quickly. Singing that inside flick through. Still being repelled by DTS, but not anymore. Punching it in at the front line. 6-5 they lead.
Nicely done for Belgium. Yeah, overthrowing that first deep shot, but punching it in on the second attempt. Good to see. Very patient end zone offense. We're not flustered by having to go side to side a few times.
Were you involved in any of the extracurriculars last night, Luke?
I did go to the equity talk. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, the Rainbow Brigade.
Rainbow Brigade did a talk about making Ultimate more inclusive. It was very interesting. I got there a bit late, but useful nonetheless.
More zone coming out from Belgium. It feels like it's been more effective for them than the match defense has. But this possession, DTS look like they might have finally figured it out.
Yes.
There's that hammer over the top. Great way to access the space. Luke loved it. Maietta. Just they're playing it very close to one another in the backfield. Don't seem particularly flustered at this point. Trying to get a big demonstrative fake to see if they can spread out that front line, create some gaps so they can sneak it through.
They're taking their time, but in previous points they've looked under pressure whilst taking their time, whereas they look a lot more calm this time.
Yeah, with the space compressed a little bit, it's more difficult to find an option downfield, but they get one streaking to the back cone towards that far sideline, and they've tied it up at 6s.
Nicely done. They managed to gain a lot more ground on their swings that point. In previous points, they've gone sideways and backwards, and this time they were going sideways and forwards. Helped by that hammer over the top earlier in the point. And then 1 or 2 forwards passes is all it takes to get the disc into the end zone.
So we're going with some pendulumic swings back and forth. At the moment, is dead center. 6 apiece. Some hand slaps on the sideline.
Do you participate in any of the extracurriculars?
This is going to sound really lame. I was working. No, I didn't go into the mingle this year. As you might be able to hear, I'm a little bit hay fevery, so I didn't want to have to get involved in that sweaty mess. But I did watch and enjoy the beer race.
It was good fun.
Always is good fun. Didn't see you competing there though.
No. Don't think Ulti TV entered the team.
No, we didn't this year. We'll blame it on COVID or something. So Belgium back on offense. Dumped, swing, trying to access the break side. A laser of an inside flick finds the target. It's looking very methodical now, the Belgian offense. They've got a clear plan and they're executing it well. Thought the up line could have gone, but they just want to be a little bit more circumspect with it.
It was tight.
And a high still able to get that release off down the sideline. Can't help but feel they'd like to get the disc a bit more central to give themselves a bit of an easier chance to attack the break side. There is a swing open, tried to put it into space, that flick and went to the ground and just couldn't get the catch right.
Went to the ground too early, perhaps. Timeout.
Yeah, good vision on the throw, but that time not rewarded.
No, it did sit nicely out into space, and there was maybe 3 players that realistically could have got there. And the player who did goes to ground like slightly awkwardly, maybe trying to go for a knee slide and not getting the slide, just getting the knee.
Yeah, either way, it hasn't worked for Belgium, and while they take a second to mull over that previous possession, we're going to take a small break here in the booth, but don't go anywhere because we'll be back with you exceedingly shortly. Welcome back to OTTV's coverage of Windmill 2022. Second game on Saturday morning, potentially the final round of Swiss draw for these sides. It's definitely the final round of Swiss draw for us, for Open and Women's, before they go into the brackets. And DTS trying to fight their way up into that top 8. Level here with the Belgian women's team at 6s, and the Belgian women's team currently occupying that 7th place spot in the Swiss draw rankings. I don't want to insult your intelligence. Can you give a an explain like I'm 5, not that I am, of how Swiss draw works to the people?
Yes.
Go ahead.
So, teams enter and get matched up in the first round somewhat randomly. And then after that, typically it's winners playing winners and losers playing losers. And each round you typically match up against the team that has the similar record to your own. And points are awarded based on how well you did in your previous matchups, taking into account things like the ranking of the team and goal difference, that kind of thing.
You can have these weird scenarios where you feel like you get a really good result. You know, you beat a team that was seeded a lot higher than you, and then all the teams that they've beat get beaten really badly, and actually the win that you thought was good all of a sudden is not that good anymore. Yeah. Everything's constantly in flux, so you just can't really take anything for granted.
Yeah, you just got to beat the team in front of you.
So DTS off the timeout. Keep it alive through Kundalaita. Just about. Gedvalaita centres to Guzmán. Back in the hands of Gedvalaita. Wants to find an option in the centre, and that is Guzmán. It's becoming a real bit of an engine and a workhorse for DTS. Kundalaita zips one through to Bassus. Bassus wants to open it up. A brilliant arcing shot across the end zone. Perfect trajectory on that one. And DTS break to go 7-5 up, 7-6 up. Why can't I counter that?
Yeah, 6 plus 1 is 7. Can confirm.
Oh, it's not that bit. It was the 6 minus 0 being 6 bit that I got wrong.
That too is it's difficult. 0 is a funny number.
So DTS, after there was a period where they looked like Belgium were all over them.
Yes.
All of a sudden they've just clicked back into gear again. This game has been, it's really had those momentum swings back and forth.
It has,
if you believe in momentum. Which,
well,
as a physical force, yes, it exists. Yeah. In terms of like sport, it's just a narrative construct. But you know what I mean, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's some truth to it in the sense that, for me, it's more about the confidence that each team has. And so when we say momentum, we really mean one team is playing with significantly more confidence than the other team is, more belief.
Yeah,
desire.
We've got confirmation of our next games as well. Field 5 is going to have Tribe versus Norway. Tribe from Ireland and Norway from
Finland.
Norway. Yeah. And but there is a Finnish team.
There is.
On Field 6, it is Putty up against Smog from the north of the UK.
Should be an exciting matchup. Putty have done very well this tournament.
They have indeed, although there's a rumour going around that they might not be able to make the finals.
That would be unfortunate.
Oh, high throw deep is tipped and just about knocked away from Valet. DTS will have the disc now with a chance to break for half time.
Yeah, important possession for them. Belgium coming at their zone.
Belgium have come out with this zone again after the turn. Just forcing DTS to be a bit more patient with their offense. The moment they're keeping the overheads in the locker, but we know that they have them and they can bring them out if required. This one might be off the wall. Wow, good focus for the second effort grab. Off the fingertips of Maietta.
DTS really relying on these back three players.
And tried to get that little toss over the top. And not for the first time. Belgium get a block on that very pass. Back on offense, trying to shoot down the sideline, where Castillo frees herself open. 7-all, and we've got a Galaxy point, Luke.
Oh, yes. So previously we thought that DTS had figured out this zone, but Belgium have made some adjustments and are making it work once again. What a second effort catch that was.
And then maybe just getting a little bit greedy with that high release over the cup, because it's been D'd before.
It has. I prefer scubas.
I must admit, so do I.
Just in general, not even in this particular situation. Just,
yeah.
But in this situation, the scuba can be thrown up higher and will drop faster than the backhand will. So it is often a better option for getting a disc over a cup to a receiver that isn't too far away. The backhands tend to float even if they do go over the cup, which can allow the wing defender to get involved, make a play. So I'd like to see more of the DTS players get involved on this zone offense. They've been leaving 3 players at the back, kind of having to do everything. All of the other receivers downfield, very disconnected from the throwers.
DTS bringing the Galaxy point by swinging it. And that's just a straight up turf.
Again, the receiver's too far away.
Making these throws more difficult than they needed to be.
They've just been disconnected on offense. Belgium punish.
Swing to Harris, a little bit behind with that gloved right hand. She makes the catch, no problem. Now coming to the open side, looking for an option deep. She's going to put it as well. Is it out in front enough? It is indeed. Wow. Belgium will break on Galaxy point to take an 8-7 half-time lead in what has been a thoroughly enjoyable first 45 or so.
We have a game on our hands. DTS need to regroup over this halftime, have a think about how to play against this zone again, because those last 2 points, they have not looked good against it. So Belgium full of confidence in themselves now, putting in those 2 breaks, and DTS need to make some adjustments.
We're going to take a small break here for halftime to get in the shade and get hydrated and all that good stuff. Don't go anywhere, because the second half of this game continues with Belgium currently leading DTS by a scoreline of 8-7.
So loads of tournaments happening, which you can attend either as a player or a spectator. You can find them on Ultical.
break side. Murphy then floats that one out. Huge bid, gets the touch. What a grab! DV!
Welcome back to Ulti TV's coverage of a very warm Windmill here in Amsterdam. A glorious Saturday morning, unless you are like me, and this is way too hot for you.
It is heating up.
Yeah, on and off the field, with Belgian women breaking on Galaxy Point to bring us back on serve going into the second half here against Lithuania's DTS, with both sides eyeing up the brackets after this final round of Swiss draw. An exceptionally warm morning here.
Belgium coming down with the zone again. It's worked for them in the first half.
There were times when DTS looked like they'd figured it out, and other times when it completely flummoxed them, as that is a brilliant reaction, second effort catch. I think they're just trying to force them just to play the numbers game, really. The sheer weight of passes, backing that the mistake's going to sneak its way in there.
Yeah, well, as I said, towards the end of that first half, they've been relying on pretty much just 3 players to work it through this zone, with everyone else being far too far away downfield to realistically be a throwing option, without a very spicy crossfield hammer, something like that. So, smart from Belgium, really.
And at the moment, it is just really piecemeal, the offense here. To mention, there's no synergy between the handlers and the players downfield.
They're too far away, completely disconnected from the throws. And even the handlers at the back are arguably too close together, not able to do anything threatening with those swings, because the 3 players in front of the disc on defense can just cover that next option far too easily.
DTS still haven't crossed the halfway line.
They're close though.
Slightly less close now as they go backwards.
There's better spacing though.
And they finally find a way to put up the deep shot. They're looking for Kundalaita, who'll probably feel that she should have had that. This might be a call.
There is some discussion. They've tried 1 or 2 deep shots against this zone, but turnover is the result.
Yeah, maybe there was contact there, but ultimately probably not enough to constitute the foul. But I always think if you're not sure, call it, have the discussion, and then retract it.
You might as well.
Risky deep shot put up by Belgium, and it... Thought I was going to say somehow it worked, but maybe the old intimidation D didn't get a piece of it, but just flashed across the eye line and made the receiver lose focus.
The DTS read that play basically as the cut started, so it shouldn't have been that close. Oh, there we go. But every time DTS does something even a little bit threatening against this zone, it always seems like Belgium are right there, resetting the zone.
Finally be able to find a way through the front line, but again, there's no synergy further downfield, so they just have to reset again and really swing and grind their way downfield.
They need to find a more consistent way to get past these front 3 defenders, and then work on keeping that disc moving forwards downfield, staying ahead of this cup. So right now they're just going sideways and often backwards.
And the longer this goes on, I feel more and more necessitated to stress that this is taking time out of the game, and in these short games where the hooch goes and you finish the point and that's it, and where DTS, you know, maybe needs to come out on the winning side or at the very least keep it close. I wonder if they feel the urgency a little bit.
Yeah. There we go.
There we go.
There we go, indeed.
Belgium get it back. They're so patient, and then just when you think you found an opening, Belgium closed it. Swung central, there's no continuation there because of a pick. If you play this tight vertical stack offense, how can you stop picks?
Get good.
Yeah, but...
Oh, is that not helpful?
No, not really. Any other advice?
Calling a timeout will stop picks for a few minutes.
Yeah, it will. I was thinking more, you know, space out a little bit more, be a bit more reactive on defense and go for some switching rather than sticking on one-to-one.
Nah, pick's good.
Come on, work with me here.
The pick is such a powerful tool on defense. Like, abuse it. Why not? The problem here is the pick is a bad rule.
No, because it stops people running into each other.
Sometimes. Most of the time, but, well, the foul rules already cover the running into each other portion. You shouldn't be doing that. What picks do is stop the game when a defender has to change direction to keep marking one player.
Just get good, Leung.
Yeah, just get good.
Easy.
And by get good, I mean switch.
Yes.
Which, to be fair, DTS have been doing.
You could see there in that start they were trying to scramble around it a little bit there, and maybe faced with that look, Belgium decided, we want no part of this, thank you. And they called the timeout, looking to break on the first point of the second half.
But really, the pick call just makes strict one-to-one defense stronger than it really ought to be. Because if anyone gets in your way, you can just stop the game.
You can see their Smog warming up. They'll be on pitch 2 next game. I might have to dig out my spreadsheet, see who we've got on which game. That looks like it's going to be you and Christina doing Smog versus Pooty.
Exciting matchup.
I'm staying on... Oh, hang on. We might be... yeah, I'll be here with Dmitriy doing Tribe versus Norway. Dmitriy, who is the allocated scorekeeper for this game.
Shout out to all the scorekeepers at this tournament, keeping us informed as to how the games are going each round. If you want to follow along with that, check out the Windmill app.
Now available on Android as well as iPhone.
Hype.
Yes, big.
Android hype.
Big boost that.
One way to avoid picks, Benji, is to get rid of your vertical stack entirely.
Well, there you go.
You said spread out.
Yep, spreading players out a bit more.
So we've got some bracketing of the horizontal stack. There's a poach off of the break side handler and some deep poaches as well.
This throw sails a little bit. Could catch at the second attempt. We've seen a few of those from both sides of this game. Zinged down the sideline. All that looked awkward, but they stuck it. Reset into the backfield. Picture perfect form on the layout. Now they're working down the far sideline. Squeezing it into a tight space. Reset once. now trying to get a bit more flow downfield. Put into space for the far side, and they just rushed the throw.
Just too low.
Just too far. But it felt like they did all the hard work and then just flubbed it when they got to the end zone.
What a catch this was.
I mean, that is like textbook. More zone here then from Belgium, again, as we said. Probably what we expected at this point. Previously, they've had the problem of the downfield just not being connected at all. And then for a little bit there, they had the problem of everything was right by that corner. And there's not really any space for anyone to work with. As a player, if you're playing downfield in the zone, I was always told you want to be marked by 2 people or no people.
Yes.
Because if you're marked by no people, well, then you're free. And if you're marked by 2 people, then it should mean that somebody else is free. And here's a huge hammer over the top to try and uncork it. Brilliantly placed just over the arms of the defender. Now they're trying to look deep, and this is going to be too deep. Doroshenko was the intended target.
Yeah, DTS just rushing their zone offense. Like they get these breaks past that first line of defense, and then struggle to convert after that.
So Belgium, again, still looking for this first point of the second half, trying to get the break to give themselves a little bit of a cushion and a 2-point lead. We have seen DTS come back from that this game. What can they do here? Upline cut goes. Good defense on it. This is going to be risky into the end zone. Wow. Uncontested foul, I think I saw called. Or maybe even uncontested strip. Why is there not a different foul, a different hand signal for strip or foul?
There kind of is. If you want to signal strip, you signal foul, but instead of tapping your right arm on your outstretched left arm, you rub it down towards your hand rather than just tapping. If you want to signal strip specifically. Not sure if that's an official hand signal.
No, I don't think it's in the official rule book. We've got some Belgian players looking around our replay monitor, and
I don't know.
It looks to me like a bit of a fustercluck.
Yes.
You see the players there engaged in discussion. I'll be honest, cannot really see a thing. Who needs technology anyway?
What we need here, Benji, is some person in a orange t-shirt to come in and wave a card at someone and tap their shoulders and make a decision.
Alternatively, it was really close, we can't tell, just send it back and do it again.
Yeah, that'll do actually.
Yeah,
I think, yeah.
Perfectly solved.
That is actually fine.
People,
no
I
orange
think,
t-shirts required.
I think a lot of the time people think, oh, it's contested, that's a negative result to a call. But sometimes stuff, I think, can be too close.
Yeah.
And you genuinely don't know.
Contested is a valid resolution.
That's why it's in the rules. Swinging. Trying to find ways to fire through the defense into the end zone here. There we go. He took their time with it. They really took their time with it. But after a bit of a marathon point for the first point of this second half, Belgium do get the break. They're creating a little bit of separation now at 9-7. And with about 10 minutes left, do DTS have time for the comeback?
It's going to be difficult. They need to solve this Belgium zone a few points ago, really. But definitely now. I don't see Belgium playing any other style of defense for the rest of this game, unless DTS truly start tearing through the zone.
It could happen.
It could happen. It should happen even, but DTS have just not looked dynamic enough to be a real threat. They've been very tight at the back. Their downfield players have been completely disconnected. What I'd like to see from DTS is, firstly, the downfield players being a bit closer. And secondly, the handlers attacking from behind the disc, getting a little pop pass in front of that cup, and then trying to find a short pass to an open player in the middle of the field.
And the other teams at that bottom end, or just outside the top 8, Panthers Wrocław have brought it back level to 8-all with Spice.
There we go.
Stretching it right the way to the sideline, and a nice toe in from Bassus.
No continuation though.
Trying to move it across the side quickly. It baited the defender a little bit, and that created the space, but that's thrown right into Valet's hands.
Again, they just can't convert once they get past this first line of defense.
Castillo down the sideline, put out to space. Nice bit of flow and rhythm now to this Belgian D-line offense. Fakes the first low. Oh, Castillo, stop it.
Wow.
Belgian women are pulling away now in this second half.
Oh, yes.
And what a way to do so, with a sick grab from Maria Castillo.
Wow. That offense from Belgium was excellent.
Look, I've told you, you can get on board the Maria Castillo hype train. Oh, trailing edge as well.
Can we criticize the throw?
No, just gave the receiver a chance to be a hero. But
gave them the highlight.
After it felt like DTS, you know, got through the first line of the zone, even drew a defender in on a swing pass to give themselves a little bit more space, and they just threw it straight to the defender.
That's the third or fourth time DTS have managed to get past the first line of defense, and then been disconnected, rushed the throw, and turned over.
But after the turn,
Belgium aren't messing about when they get the disc back, though.
No. That was clean.
Oh yeah. Oh. Pretty sure that landed out. Yeah, they are going to brick it.
It was close.
It was close.
You can see there the Windmill frisbees officially provided by Eurodisc this year, 100% organic material, and the discs are in different colours of the various different pride flags. That one might be asexual. I can't remember which ones are which. It's the one that's like purple, grey, and black.
Yeah, that's the asexual pride flag.
I'm going to sound really boomer when I say there's so many flags I can't keep up. But sometimes
no, there actually are like a ridiculous number of flags.
I do sometimes get them confused. Oh, this one into a dangerous area! And it was very nearly rescued. But Petrovita couldn't snag it. Everything looked, again, so congested in that handler space. Trying to force it through such narrow windows. Disc reset, and now swung over to this near side. After the turn, the Belgium offense finding a little bit more spaces than they were. Wonder if they've broken the back of DTS now. Swing, reeled in comfortably enough. DeWitt wants to fire that in, was a little bit behind. And the disc turns back to DTS. DTS have not been able to figure out this zone. Again, it doesn't feel that windy where we are. I don't know whether that's just because we're shielded and sheltered slightly, but I am a little bit surprised that they've gone away from the overheads.
They had some success earlier with them.
But everything's going very laterally for DTS.
They seem to be very intent on going around the zone, but the downfield players are never really in position to gain ground after the second swing.
Yeah, the timing's not there.
So let's see here. They gain a little bit of ground after that long swing, but the zone is set up again. Oh, there's one through the middle.
That's kind of been scarce for them. It feels like, as you say, it's pretty much all been around as opposed to through, over, or inside. This one is going to sail and float a little bit. I love the attempt for the toe tap, but unfortunately they just kept on going, and Maietta couldn't bring it in.
Can confirm asexual pride flag colours.
Thank you.
For people who don't feel sexual attraction to anyone. That's what asexual means.
That is low, just keep that alive. Players on the field seem happy enough that she did.
It was close though.
It was close. There's one into a throng of bodies. DTS get the D. Thought about the call. Looks like nothing's going to be there.
Two players have signalled no call, and then they're still talking.
Panthers have completed the comeback. They're now up 9-8 on Spice. And a win there, you feel, would probably seal their spot in the top 8 with the way with DTS being down,
Maybe,
and of course Spice, one of those other teams on the outside looking in.
Yeah, probably.
Elsewhere in the women's division, Prima Donna Girls up 9-7 on Seagulls.
Turnover will stand. There's a shot through the middle and a continuation.
Or maybe
Travel.
there isn't.
I think a travel's being signalled. Discus check back in.
Yeah, for those of you watching live on our YouTube channel, thank you very much for your patience while we've had a couple of internet problems early this morning. I'm not sure whether the route has been baking in the sun or what.
All these games are recorded though. They'll be uploaded in full later.
You are bang on the money then. Petrovita again seems to be the core handler. This is swung around the back.
They are finding the bigger swings this point, but not able to convert that into forwards momentum.
A little bit more expansive, but not sure whether they were looking at the wrong lines or just got the angle of that wrong, but unable to tow it in. Throw just led them too far out to the side, and this goes back to Belgium. You can hear the jingle beginning to fire up, so depending on how quickly this possession takes, this might be the last point. Huge space there for Belgium.
They should swing until the jingle stops. Nope, they put it in straight away. So we will play one more point.
And there is the official signal for the end of the game. So we will finish this point with Belgium now. Is that 11-7 they lead? It is indeed.
It is.
So they're clearly trying to furnish their Swiss draw score as much as they can, make sure they seal that spot in the top 8, and maybe give themselves a slightly easier matchup in the quarterfinals as well.
Yeah, heartbreak for DTS though. I feel like this is a game they could have won,
if they just found a way to figure out this zone.
Yeah, like that's really it.
So I think there is going to be some discussion about when exactly when it went on. Is it Ruta Gedvalaita, the spirit captain for DTS, and Silky Delafortry, who is the coach of the Belgians women's side. Has played around Europe and played for the national side herself, but is pregnant at the moment, so taking on a coaching role. Both sides will look to at least finish this game on a high. For Belgium, the hard work's probably already done. For DTS, you've got to stick at it because you put this point in, who knows?
Could make a huge difference.
It could make all the difference. And we have seen teams miss brackets before at Windmill by a single point. Just talk to Christina about that. It's happened to her.
Belgium sticking to the game plan.
Yeah, why not? Go with what brought you to the dance. It's crazy to think that DTS received the disc on Galaxy Point and they haven't scored since. Looking for Kundalaita down the sideline.
Foul called.
Player came from behind for the opposition.
Uncontested.
That stays with Kundalaita. Goes across. Whoa, very nearly got in there from the defender coming behind. That throw blades early, and it somehow just about worked. It looked a little bit dicey, but they made it 6, so that will be 11-8 final score. Belgium over DTS. We're going to take a break to get ready for the next game. For Luke Burgess, I'm Benji Rees, and we will see you on the other side.
TV.